Well, sometimes, guys, I watch a movie and I don't know what to say. I'm trying to formulate my opinion. I want to give you guys a valid review. I want to work with you here to collect my thoughts and to be as, concise and thoughtful about the things that I'm going to say. And today's going to be a difficult one because I watched Andrew Dominik's Blonde. And the reason why I watched this movie is because I thought it was really fascinating that Ana de Armas was nominated for a Razzie and for Best Actress. This movie had a heated amount of controversy around it, and I thought that I would dive in and give my own opinion on it, and so we're going to talk about it today. Blonde is directed by Andrew Dominik. From her volatile childhood as Norma Jeane, through her rise to stardom and romantic entanglements, this reimagined fictional portrayal of Hollywood legend Marilyn Monroe blurs the lines of fact and fiction to explore the widening split between her public and private selves. So I remember when this movie was released, and there were a ton of articles released with Andrew Dominik saying some of the most moronic and ill-conceived things about Marilyn Monroe that just seemed really mean-spirited and almost as if he can't stand her for some reason, which I'm thinking in the back of my head, whether you call this a biopic or an interpretation of a biopic, if you can't stand a person that much, why would you make a movie about them? I'm not 100% sure. But the other thing I saw was Ana de Armas, who I absolutely love. I think she's a very talented actress who gets cast in a lot of really awful material, unfortunately. But she has had some great movies in her career. And this movie is a mess, and it's not good. I'll say that straight out. I've seen some people rate this movie 5 stars, and I just have to ask, like, I don't know what your thought process was going into this movie, but like, this movie is just, it's objectively a bad movie. So obviously this tells the story of Marilyn Monroe. You get her in her young life where she's a little girl with her mother. Her mother has gone completely insane because her father left them. She's kind of like living in poverty, and she doesn't really know what to do with her life. And then you jump forward to Marilyn Monroe as an adult, kind of already on the beginning of the trajectory of her career and all of the people she comes into contact with, the abuse that she faces. And that's essentially the movie. So the first thing I want to talk about is the acting. And before I get into the very negative elements, I do want to say Ana de Armas does give a really good performance with what she is given here. I know a lot of people were complaining that her accent still came through, which it did a little bit, but I'm less concerned about that. It's a performance. It's not meant to be 100% copy and pasted of the human being. I can deal with the fact that a little bit of an accent still exists. I think she's really committed to this material and is really passionate about it, even though sometimes it comes across as unintentionally funny with the way that some of the lines are delivered. And I do think that she is great. Most of the other actors in this movie are horrible, including the actress who plays her mother, which she had some moments that were so laughably bad, especially early on in the first act where she was having some like freak out moments. I was just like, no, this isn't working, not at all. And as the movie plays out, you're introduced to a lot of different characters who, even Adrien Brody in this didn't really do anything for me. I was like, okay, he's just kind of there. You probably could have casted him with any other actor and it would have came across exactly the same. And so the acting in this wasn't all that great. The next thing I want to talk about is the actual filmmaking. The cinematography in this is baffling to me because there are some beautiful shots in this movie that are incredible. There are also some laughably bad shots in this movie. The aspect ratio must change probably 25 times through this movie with no intentionality to it whatsoever. There is nothing going on with the aspect ratio that is making you think, oh, this is jumping between fact or fiction or reality or something in Marilyn's dreams or flashbacks to her childhood. It just does it because Andrew Dominik, working with his cinematographer, didn't understand that when you change lenses out on the camera that you need to make sure that the aspect ratio stays the same. It's almost laughable how many times it shifts during the movie, and it's really frustrating. Also, this decision to flip back and forth between color and black and white is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in a movie. It doesn't add anything to the film. It's not adding to the emotional punch. It's more just like this is a visually creative decision and I want it to look like this. And it really got annoying after a while where I was just like, okay, why does this even exist? And so that was a really frustrating part of the film. And then the last thing I want to discuss is the overall content. This movie really doesn't give Marilyn Monroe much of a personality other than a target for physical and emotional abuse. She is essentially just a person who is being treated horribly because the industry is horrible and there is no other reason for it whatsoever, which aligns with the seediness of how Andrew Dominik feels about Marilyn Monroe, where this movie just feels very mean. It's less of like, oh, we're seeing Marilyn Monroe's actual lived experience and we're supposed to feel bad because of the horrible things she went through, which is what a good movie would make you feel. This movie just makes you feel really slimy and like that he didn't like her, and so he's going to make her a subject of all this abuse that he's created in the movie. And that was really disgusting, and there was nothing charming about this. There was nothing entertaining about this. And not all films have to be entertaining, but at the same time, like, give your lead character some more depth other than she wants to see her dad and her dad abandoned her when she was young and now every man in the world takes advantage of her. There's literally like nothing else to the movie other than that, and it's 3 hours long and it's way too long. It's incredibly self-indulgent. This movie could have been trimmed down to about an hour and 40 minutes and been the exact same film. I saw some people online compare this to Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, and I swear to God, if I see you in person, it's going down. We're gonna have a verbal argument. This is not anywhere close to Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Laura Palmer's character has so much more depth and identity. There's a reason for how she feels. There's a reason why she acts the way that she acts. There's so much more depth to that character in such a small amount of time that she's even introduced in the series and Fire Walk with Me, comparatively to this movie where you had 3 hours to flesh out a character and you gave us legitimately nothing other than, oh, she was abused, so feel bad. And it's such a surface level juvenile movie. I said it like this: I feel like 10% of the movie was filmed by an art house film director and 90% of it was written by a horny teenage boy who just wanted to make a movie about Marilyn Monroe. And it's really awful. I would not recommend this movie to anyone. The fact that Ana de Armas got nominated for an Oscar for this is a travesty because she deserves it for something that's really quality. I'm glad that she feels some kind of passion for it, but I will never watch this movie again. So have you seen Blonde? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was horrible. It made me feel sick. It was terribly written. It wasn't even impactful in any way, shape, or form. It was just a waste of 3 hours of my life. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.